Hey everyone, I'm Emery, and welcome to the first episode of Winnie's Travels. With the end goal in mind of turning my 1987 37-foot-long Winnebago RV into my full-time home, today we'll be watching the first step of the process, the interior demolition. So let's get started. Here's what the inside of Winnie looked like when I first got her. So the first thing I did was take out all the miscellaneous junk, which resulted in two massive junk hauls. Okay, so now that I've taken out everything that's not attached with screws or in some other fashion, that's going to be the next step. So right now I really want to get this couch out of here because it's taking up the most space, and I feel like it'll make me feel like I've really accomplished something once I remove it. So I have already looked at it a bit, and I've noticed that there's no clear way to remove it. It's clearly like screwed in or bolted in, but I can't access those bolts. So the first thing that I'm going to do is rip out all of the carpet that is near the couch on the floor to see if there are screws underneath the carpet, because I've noticed that also this little, there's some other pieces of furniture that also seem to be just attached to the wall, and clearly there might be some mechanism to remove it, but underneath the carpet. So I'm going to do that first, and I'll show you guys the results of that. I might just try and rip out all of the carpet in the living room since I'm going to have to do that anyway. But we'll see. I'll show you guys the before and after of that, and then we'll see if there's any way that I can access the screws to this couch. No. The couch was actually one of the last things I removed, because it turns out that the couch was actually a bed, and all I had to do was jump on the bed a few times, and then the bolts actually came out from the carpet because they weren't even really attached to the wood at that point because the wood was so rotten. They were mostly just attached to the carpet, so I really just had to jump on it, but it took me a while to figure that out. The carpet proved very difficult to remove, but I got away with using a pair of scissors and the brute force of my lower back, which I totally destroyed in the process. Okay, so this is what the floor looks like right now. I started to also rip some of the wood or paneling off of the walls and discovered this nice treat down here, which is just kind of rotten wood essentially. So that's going to be exciting to figure out how to take care of that. So zooming back out, what I have decided to work on right now, just because it was exhausting to rip out the carpet and it's also really hot, I decided to start taking the first cabinet off of the walls. I removed all the cabinets with my battery-powered drill and a small handheld screwdriver for the harder-to-reach screws. Working on removing the cabinets over the driver's seat was when I discovered the first rodent's nest, but there were a couple others hidden underneath the shower and one under the dinette. At this point, I hit this stuck screw dilemma, and I figured I'd document my solution after I tried WD-40 and it didn't work. I used my handheld saw to cut the piece of wood so that it was short enough that I could use it as a built-in screwdriver. And now, the fridge saga. Okay, so what I'm going to be trying to accomplish today is to actually remove the fridge. And the problem that I am running into is that there is no easy way to do this. So the corner, which you would normally, like, if you peek behind this paneling, there are some screws in there, but you can't access them because this paneling is like really tough, and I've hacked at it and sawed at it before in other places, and that has finally worked, but you can't remove it easily. And then if we come to the other side of the fridge, so we see that there's this paneling, and it's not, like, if you go to the edges, there's no connection. So there's no screws. It's just like glued in there essentially with wood glue, but there's no easy way to remove it. And I can't really see how the fridge is connected until I access the other side of that panel. And it's not, as far as I can tell, it's not actually on the floor. It's kind of like raised up, but maybe it is on the floor. It's really hard to tell. At this point, I realized I couldn't remove the fridge without removing the dinette, so I called it quits for the day. The next day, I removed the dinette and discovered that other rodent's nest, and then pushed the fridge out of the front door. Yes, the fridge is still right where I left it, on the ground. It's really heavy. That's all for now, folks. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for more of Winnie's Travels.